I wonder, if I really wanted to hate on mono white, I could put the 4 mana protection from white Archon in the sideboard. That'd be a really wild one of, but I could do it. Okay, so we're playing a Control Mirror. Flame Blessed Bolt is bad, but we get to loot it away with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I think I was on the play, so I should be able to resolve the Mirror Breaker, given that it's game 1. We are, in fact, on the play. It's usually pretty hard for blue-white control to have a counter spell that targets Fable of the Mirror Breaker on 2 mana. They could be main decking Dovin's Veto, but that would certainly be unusual. There is priority here, which is a little scary. I do basically just want nothing but lands. Alright, time to find out if we win. Do you have the counterspell, opponent? Okay. Well, now I'm back to only being ahead. Sweet.
If you wish to surrender now, keep an open mind.
Opponent having Narset is fine, because we also have Narset. Is Kahira just a win con in a creatureless deck? It's also a blocker, and you can exile it to pay for 2 of the mana cost of the White March, which is something.
Just the trick for this.
Believe I'm probably supposed to take Omen of the Sea. Which raises an interesting question. Should I Flame Blessed Bolt the Narset to stop them from drawing an additional card with it? Or should I actually kill the Narset so that my Yorions on Omen of the Seas actually draw cards? I am going to assume that I should choose to actually kill the Narset with Flame Blessed Bolt, rather than deny them the card here.
Hone your prowess.
Yeah, we could also Flame Blessed Bolt a Shark Typhoon token. That works too.
Put thoughtfulness before
Okay.
action.
Teferi's not bad at all. Let's just keep drawing cards. That's very awkward. Well, I guess not as awkward as it could be, though. So I'm letting the opponent know they can resolve Teferi. I could just pass through this turn and leave the Lightning Helix and force them to cycle the Shark Typhoon first. They might be tempted to not cycle the Shark Typhoon so that I don't get to get the card advantage out of casting the Lightning Helix, which would be a mistake on their part, in my opinion. But specifically because I have this Flame Blessed Bolt that's going to kill this Shark, I'm not as scared about their Teferi. Because Teferi is a good deal weaker when there's an Narset in play. Maddox MTG 96, thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Would it have been better to cast Helix before land and beta counter? Probably not, because I didn't actually want them to counter that. Rest in peace. Okay, that makes their Siphoners worse, but also they had to spend a card to do it, so it doesn't actually matter. They should have probably just played Teferi there, I feel like. I'm pretty sure I'm just actively rather happy that my opponent didn't spend this turn doing anything. I guess they knew about my Teferi, so if they didn't... Yeah, okay, so it's wrong if they didn't have a 2-drop way to counter Teferi to tap out just 2, untap with 2, and then have problems with their Teferis. What does that mean, have problems with their Teferis? I don't really need this mountain. To have a Teferi in play, but to have problems regardless. To have problems while having a Teferi? Ooh, I definitely don't want Saiba Syphoner. I think I'm into Wandering Emperor, though. Do I want to play Fable of the Mirror Breaker here? It's almost tempting. I'm going to say probably not, though. Oh, wow. Scry 2. You love to see the Castle Vantress activation because it just totally means you don't have to care about what the opponent's doing. So I did have an opportunity to resolve Wandering Emperor there. I just don't think that I'm supposed to try to take that moment. Okay. So I want a Wandering Emperor here before they can find an Archmage's Charm.
I hope you're ready to
Okay.
Meditate and prepare.
Farewell. No, that could exile all of my Omen of the Seas. That would be disappointing. I believe I probably want to take this opportunity to punch the Narset.
Still have much to learn.
And then just down-tick the Wandering Emperor again.
May your blade strike true.
So they're not really going to be able to resolve Farewell through Archmage's Charm unless they have Dovin's Veto. I feel like it's pretty safe to go for Teferi Archmage's Charm here. Yeah, they Archmage's Charm me. I think I'm comfortable Archmage's Charming back. Mystical Dispute was like... Oh, no, they couldn't have Mystical Dispute because they had 1 mana here. Yeah. Like, giving them an opportunity to resolve their Teferi was irrelevant because I had a Narset that I had defended. If they Farewell, I just have 3 Planeswalkers on board. Maybe the Farewell was a reason to have upticked Wandering Emperor instead of downticking that turn, so that if they did end up playing Farewell, my Emperor was a little stronger, but, like, I feel like that's the kind of decision that is the difference between... Well, okay, so in a world where they Dovin's Veto my Teferi, it was much better to have downticked Wandering Emperor. I think that alone is a reason to have downticked it. That is true. Farewell would have turned our Saiba Syphoners back on. Okay, let's see. No Portable Holes, no Flame Blessed Bolts. We do want Vetoes, Typhoon, Dispute, probably Expressive Iteration, and then I need 2 cuts. Lightning Helix versus March of Otherworldly Light is kind of a weird choice. I don't love Fable of the Mirror Breaker on the draw. It's nowhere near as good as on the play, but I'm going to assume that it's probably still better than March of Otherworldly Light. Probably better than Lightning Helix still. Yeah, alright. Let's roll with that. Okay, well, this has lands, so I'm not allowed to mulligan. But no... Oh, wait, we do have a white source through the Triome. Okay. And having drawn Archmage's Charm, alright, now we're in a pretty decent spot. We're still kind of low on truly good and effective low-cost counterspell interaction, but that shouldn't be a problem in the immediate future. There we go. Alright, good work, deck. It's tempting to play the Steam Vents tapped here, but this just isn't a point in the game at which my... Well, this isn't a game in which my life is ever likely to matter. I find myself... Okay, cool. That was a moment where if they had just gone turn 4 Wandering Emperor into turn 5 Teferi, I probably couldn't win. But luckily we have not gotten to that point. Ugh. Okay, very unexcited about drawing all of these expressive iterations. I think this is probably... So I got two choices here. I can either go for Fable of the Mirror Breaker and expect that I'm going to bait a counterspell out of my opponent and then pass with Dovin's Veto up on my opponent's turn. Or I can Expressive Iteration, which is pretty bad anyway because I'd be discarding a hand size regardless. So I think I'm just supposed to Fable of the Mirror Breaker and then pass with Dovin's Veto up. I'm expecting this gets a counterspell out of them, but that means that they can't actually do anything threatening on my turn. Yeah, okay. They have to Archmage's turn because they can't handle the ability for me to make treasure and ramp, and they miss land drops. That is just the best. Alright, we Expressive Iteration, expecting this probably has to get countered. It doesn't get countered, which is cool. Alright, let's put an untap land in hand and a tap land into play. Pass the turn. Opponent gets an opportunity to draw here that I have to let them have. Shark Typhoon is fine. For the time being. Alright, I think I have to just pass here. And hope they don't have another Shark Typhoon. Okay, cool. Another Shark Typhoon would be something that was kind of challenging for me to handle there. As it stands, I believe that I am inclined to attempt to gain control of this shark so that I don't take more extra damage. I have the Dovin's Veto, which makes this entirely safe. Alright, now with that tempo threat out of the way, we're approaching the point at which me having more lands just wins this game. I think here, if the opponent doesn't force me to... Yeah, this does not force me to use my mana. I'm going to let them Narset. I believe that I just want a Saiba Syphoner in response to this. They could hit a Jwari Disruption off this Narset in some world. And I know that on 2 to 3 mana, they can't have anything that I care about. Holding up a veto for. Okay, they use a dispute. That's fine.
Keep an open mind.
Narset whiffs. That's pretty unfortunate for them. Oh, I probably should have exiled the Omen of the Sea. I guess I should have attacked first, maybe? I could have sorcery speeded the Omen of the Sea if the Narset dies. But I'm assuming that I probably don't want to do that anyway. I think... So, by shocking this, I'm technically playing around...
I have just the trick for this.
Okay, we can take this to Teferi. Mystical Dispute on my Narset. I don't actually have any intention of paying for a Mystical Dispute if they were to use it. Again, Narset I don't care about.
My prowess is unmatched by
But by shocking, I'm like slightly disincentivizing them from playing Mystical Dispute there, just because I don't want them to. But yeah, they've missed way too many land drops, and that's just not something you're allowed to do.
I was not prepared for this.
Howdy, Alex. I'm doing well. 4 lands. Harsh. I shouldn't complain too much. Opponents had it worse thus far. Alright, let's go ahead and put Yorion in hand. I'm probably going to cycle this Shark Typhoon for 3 if the opponent doesn't do anything. If they Sorcery Speed Memory Deluge, I think that I'm priced into countering it at this point, and then cycling for 2. But mostly they just... yeah. You can't miss that many land drops in a control mirror. Unfortunate. Alright, and now that we have officially made it into Mythic, so begins the numbering. Alright. This hand has a play on turn 2, which feels like makes me obligated to keep it. Oh. Okay. Auras. I wonder if I should have held up Lightning Helix in case they put an aura on the Esper Sentinel and I'd still be paid off for just attempting to throw out a Lightning Helix. Probably should have. And just let them have the 1 card. Zappy the SRAM. Yeah, now's where Auras gets very, very strong. If they have a good hand. Why not wait for them to cast the Aura on and play that then? Because then they get a draw trigger that draws them a card. And they untap with the ability to play protection, like Spell Pierce. So I get no benefit by waiting for them to play the Aura, because the Aura replaces itself. On the other hand, Light Paws actually does require the Aura to enter the battlefield in order to get value. Thus, I have some incentive to wait on my removal. I believe that I'm probably not supposed to pay this on the off chance they have protection here. Cool. They don't have protection, which means what? Do I think this is a version that splashes Ghost Form? Yeah, you splash Ghost Form if you have Light Paws. So I think I have to wait on the other Lightning Helix still. I can play it end of turn. Okay, and I believe now I'm supposed to zap SRAM. I want to cycle this Irrigated Farmland, so we're not going to play it. Luris to hand, which will be a problem. Spirit Dancer to play, which can be a problem. Teferi.
If you show remorse, I'll show restraint.
I believe I'm supposed to go after the Light Paws and then try to block the Spirit Dancer, which is probably going to be a chump block. But my expectation is they play Luris, then they play Curious Obsession on Spirit Dancer, swing it to Teferi. I block with Syphoner, uptick Teferi, play the other Teferi, hope to hit a removal spell for the Spirit Dancer, downtick on Luris. Saiba Syphoner is also stellar.
You know what? I'm not done.
I should have done that at the end of turn. No, I couldn't do that at the end of turn. I still had to float the mana before Teferiing regardless. But I do want to... No, I want to play around Spell Pierce. So we Lightning Helix before Irrigated Farmland and after untapping with Teferi. Okay. I did successfully do the correct thing. I love that this gets shuffled back into my deck so that I have a higher chance of drawing Saiba Syphoners here. That's cool. Don't love drawing more lands, though.
Hold that thought.
Ugh. Okay, I think I'm supposed to play Teferi in order to get rid of the Spirit Dancer. Light Pause. They probably don't have a way to give it haste. Ugh. Yeah, that's quite bad. They do shuffle away their creature. We appreciate that. Okay.
Keep up the pace.
Goodness gracious. Alright, so I'm gonna have to chump Light Pause in all likelihood. Well, I'm gonna have to chump whichever one of these is set to draw a card. Yeah, so unblockable Light Pause. Interesting, do they not run the blue cartouche anymore? That would have been better. Alright, well, I can't win here. Why did they not put that on Light Pause? Okay. What? This feels incredibly wrong. Huh, okay.
Do you want to wait for a rematch?
No! Fragment Reality is a card they're main decking, huh? So I don't get to draw 2 cards? Wow. Okay. Well, I do kind of have to accept Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Which isn't going to stop my opponent from drawing like 12 cards here, so I think I'm still going to lose this. I'm very happy they put Curious Obsession on the wrong creature here. Okay, let's get rid of Hall and Mountain, draw 2. Archmage's Charm isn't helpful. Get to blink Fable, make more blockers. Do I even want more mana right now? No, I think I'm supposed to take the ability to loot. But odds are very strong I'm probably just dead here. Wow. Okay, March is excellent. How do I best... Should I have just fired it off of there? Okay, so they didn't try to kill me. I think I'm just supposed to let them draw this one card in order to not be vulnerable to Spell Pierces on my March of Otherworldly Light? Okay, this is winnable suddenly. I'm assuming they don't have Ghost Form in their deck if they haven't played it yet. I think I should be saving Archmage's Charm as a counterspell rather than trying to draw two here. Okay, so I believe we begin by marching Light Paws. And then see what happens after that. They don't even have a Spell Pierce. Oh. Well then. Well then let's also get rid of SRAM. Oh my. This is actually winnable. They run Karametris sometimes. Auras can run a lot of mixes of different cards. Why not make a treasure that turn? I wanted the blocker. They can play Heliod's Punishment. And so having two blockers to keep the Teferi alive was relevant.
No time for a break.
Oh, thank goodness. Narset, you're the best.
Mind and body should move in unison. Like meditate and prepare.
Let's just hyper-aggressively get rid of the Light Paws. I see no reason to allow it to be in play.
Known for my excellent timing. You need to slow down.
This turn, however, I can make a treasure. Because I have two blockers. Oh, I already upticked. Well, I mean, having a treasure is probably still beneficial. Core Spirit Dancer. I see no reason to allow that to be in play. I mean, I guess I have a Narset, so maybe it doesn't matter. Was that actually wrong? Because I have Narset? Unclear. Yeah, we can take a Flameless Bolt. I'd love to top deck a Saiba Syphoner. Thank you, deck.
Hurry.
Alright, there's another counter spell. There's another counter spell. Here's another counter spell. You can probably concede now, opponent. Yeah, we're fine. Alright, so I have infinity counter spells for the rest of this game. Now, admittedly, the Saiba Syphoner lockout was not necessary to win that game, but it did help. Alright, so we need Portable Hole, March of Otherworldly Light, Settle the Wreckage is probably correct, Expressive Iteration is probably correct, Mystical Dispute's probably correct. Oh, what do I not want against the opponent here? Fable of the Mirror Breaker is probably too slow. They aren't on a version with the Black Splash for Ghost form, which makes Teferi's bounce a little worse. But I'm going to assume that because they have the unblockable aura, Shark Typhoon is just too slow. It does block flyers, but, like, is that actually what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't think so. Settle might be a mistake, but I want to experiment with the mistake. Charm is way slower than Fable? Maybe? Wait, why is Jace so tiny? Why is Jace so adorable? Aww. This is a bad hand. Gross, gross, icky, nasty, gross. Alright, it'll be fine. Opponent will just run in and settle the wreckage and we'll cheese him out to death by then. Oh, they didn't have a 2-drop. Delightful. I still don't actually have 2-drop removal either. Wow. I can't believe the opponent's doing nothing to not punish me for the fact that I have absolutely nothing. Oh, yeah, no, Teferi, you're much too expensive, but I will take the card that's only mostly too expensive. Oh, wow. My opponent is such a kind person. Okay, cool. Don't want lands. Happy Scries. Counterspell? Okay. Alright. Alright. Wanderer being awkward because of googly eyes is actually an interesting point. That's true. So, do they sideboard in ghost form here? Why are they putting Curious Obsession on this light pause? I think the opponent might not... Yeah, because of that. Alright, I will attempt to draw 2 cards. Sweet. Okay, the flooding is actually still a problem, though. I was kind of hoping that wouldn't continue to happen. Okay. How am I supposed to sequence this? Settle the wreckage after they attack? I'm assuming? And then they spell pierce that? Alternatively, I suppose I can just take this a little bit slower. And not throw away any of my cards here, because I do still have to be worried about them having Dovin's Veto. I guess Mystical Dispute, too. Yeah, Dovin's Veto. Okay, I think I'm actually supposed to be okay with this, and then just take... Let my opponent draw a card and cast Irrigated Farmland. Getting Dovin's Veto out of their hand makes this Settle the Wreckage slightly better in the future. Okay, I dig the Teferi. Okay, Sentinel's Eyes is fine. Furious Obsession. Not attacking with the 1/1 is weird. Like, they actually suspect I have Settle? It's very tempting to march this Light Pause, because that plays around Mystical Dispute and forces them to have a veto. Which they do have. Okay, letting them draw 2 kinda sucks. But we got 2 vetoes down. Should I Omen in the Sea here, or should I Raugrin Triome? I'm probably supposed to Omen of the Sea here. Yeah, I'm extremely happy I did that. Emperor, who's not terribly useful yet. Okay. So we have Settle Wreckage through Spell Pierce. Pretty decent odds we could end up losing here. I'm hoping the opponent feels tempted to play Luris into Aura pre-combat. They don't feel tempted to do that. Okay. Alright, so they're out of counterspells. Settle the Wreckage succeeds, puts a bunch of auras into play, but we successfully exiled their creature, so they don't have a creature to get back with Luris. Why not Teferi and +1 for Settle? Doesn't play around Spell Pierce. Yeah, Spirit Dancer's pretty terrible. They should be putting those on Esper Sentinel. Like, this is actually a pretty huge mistake for them to have put everything on Spirit Dancer.
You show remorse. Let's take it back a step.
Alright, opponent. So are you going to swing with both creatures at Teferi? Light Pause. Alright. Why not March it in plus? Because then I didn't have March to protect the Teferi. Had me kind of concerned. But, yeah, maybe that was better. So if I March it, pay for Sentinel, I guess I'd have to exile Wandering Emperor, which maybe is just okay. Could be that that's something I'm allowed to do. Doing March on the instep means that I'm not playing around Spell Pierce. I need that information first. Okay, Saiba Syphoner is like the best possible draw. So that's pretty great. Because now I can Saiba Syphoner back, settle the wreckage. I want to draw an untap land, I think. Choosing whether to play around Spell Pierce or Esper Sentinel here is tough. I'm operating under the assumption that Wandering Emperor means that I can still win if they have the Spell Pierce here. Sweet. One unknown card, huh? If I uptick Teferi and get hit by the second Spell Pierce, I just lose this game instantly. Or if they have a protection spell. So I think I'm supposed to do it this way.
Reverse.
Do I put Yorion in hand? Or hold up March? Yorion's really powerful here. And there's actually kind of a low likelihood that I'm going to get a decent March target. So this might kill me, but I think mostly it works. I might have done the math wrong, but I think Spell Pierce did work there if I paid for the Sentinel, which would have been the plan. Alright, well, that's a highly ludicrous series of draws, but alrighty. Okay, Lightning Helix is nice.
Let's skip to the good part.
Can I afford to play this Yorion this turn? So let's go with 2 Lightning Helix the SRAM. Pay 2, have 2 left. March a Sentinel. Okay. Oh, I forgot I was getting mana from Teferi. Okay, so how did that change if I actually had 4 left? I was thinking I didn't want to spend any mana on my turn because it would let them double up on Esper Sentinel. That might actually still be true. I guess I could sorcery speed everything, but that doesn't really work with Wandering Emperor anyway. Did it mean that I could have played Yorion? I would have had 5 mana, 1 blocker. Maybe? Maybe that makes playing Yorion correct? Huh. Very uncertain. Possibly? Alright, let's kill this SRAM here. which means they can't play an aura and then draw a card off of the Lurrus. I want to do this now because I don't want to give the Light Paws a trigger. Fortunately, the Esper Sentinel has Vigilance, which isn't great. Maybe I'm just supposed to eat 5 damage there and let them draw a card? No, the Light Paws gets a card. Alright, so Teferi goes down. Oh, Saiba Syphoner, you're the best card. Okay, so I could play Yorion here. I'm probably supposed to do that. I think I have to take a risk here, because I think I need to play Yorion this turn. And I think I need to sorcery speed the Siphoner to actually end up getting stuff back anyway. There's a definite risk that I might just die to this Light Paws, though, if they get the unblockable aura. Alright, well, time to find out if I die. I think if they find a 2-mana aura, I just lose. Spirit Dancer's bad, but it's not immediately a 2-mana aura. I probably win if... well, they just drew it naturally. Did they board out? No. Passing to Saiba Syphoner Settle isn't really positioning to win there, because they just have Lurrus in play, and I don't think that I beat them untapping with Lurrus, with Siphoner into Settle. They just don't attack with Lurrus, and, like, I'm losing that game. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Opponent gave me a lot more room in that game than I should have had, and I still didn't really manage to clinch it. Missing the 2-mana untapping from your lands? I don't actually think that that actually changed anything. I believe that I would probably run back the exact same play. Oh, if either of these lands made red mana, this hand would be so excellent. And this is a matchup where it's so hard for me to not curve out. I think I have to keep this. Mulliganing is so bad against auras, and this hand is so good if it actually hits a red source, that I think that I'm supposed to take this gamble. Okay. Well, failing that, Archmage's Charm is interesting. Opponent's absolutely supposed to jam a 2-drop creature here. Yeah. Alright, Light Paws isn't the scariest one they could have. I think I just have to do this. Oh. Yeah, that's the game. Oh. Well, I could draw an untap red source, actually, and still have a chance here. If I march the Light Paws and Flame Blast Bolt the SRAM, brutal. No, that was better than Ancestral Recall. Ancestral Recall doesn't do 1 damage. Sentinel is harsh, yeah. I mean, I can steal Sentinel. That's at least an effective tax here. Okay, Aether Tunnel is not actually like the scariest thing in the world. Untap red source? No. The blue source for the Spell Pierce. Do I need to Omen of the Sea to find an untapped red source to have a chance this game? I think this is what I'm doing, but the fact that they have a Spell Pierce here means I lose. They don't. Why do they even have priority? I don't know. Okay, so there's still sort of a chance. Sentinel taxing them is meaningful. Okay. So that's not much of any actual thing. Guess I should race. Alright, so we play the Saiba Syphoner. Get the March. I can't block, right? I cannot. Exile Lightning Helix, hit SRAM. This gets countered, then we play Wandering Emperor and downtick on SRAM? Oh. Okay, well that was awful for them. Sweet. Seriously? Still? Yowzers.
Run away. You'll be safer.
I think I'm just getting rid of Sentinel here.
You're done.
So they can make Spirit Dancer unblockable to kill Wandering Emperor. That's going to be a problem. If they don't elect to kill Wandering Emperor, yeah, they do.
Our swords will cross again.
Settle Wreckage is decent. I gotta go for a red source to kill the Lurrus, though. I could play Narset and do nothing. I think I gotta just bottom both and hope for the untapped red source. It is not, which does still give us Settle the Wreckage, I guess, but pretty likely to lose here. Remember when we were debating whether to keep this hand because it was so good if we drew red mana? Well, if they somehow haven't found a counterspell yet, there's a chance. And also if this doesn't find a counterspell. Alright. Well, I don't know how we get out of this one. I don't think I have any 1-mana spells that get me out of this, right? March doesn't do it because I can't exile Flameblast Bolt? Well, I can hope the opponent forgets they can make Lurrus unblockable. Opponent has not forgotten that. I think if I had found that red source on, like, any turn earlier than that in this entire game, I probably still could have won that. Jeez. Alright, once again, a hand where we don't have red mana. But we're on the draw, so we're more likely to draw red mana than we were last game. Thoughtseize, this probably should exile Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Or, well, discard Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. But I could see going for Archmage's Charm here too, depending on what kind of deck you're playing. What turn do I want to play Joy Disruption? Well, I mean, I might as well play Irrigated Farmland because it makes my red sources untapped. Some of my red sources untapped. Which might matter for casting Lightning Helix next turn. Alright, Omen of the Sea is interesting. Helps find red mana. I do not think I'm interested in Joy Disruptioning a Bone Crusher Giant. But am I interested in Jawari Disruptioning a Bone Crusher Giant, though? No, just a Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, that I do not care about. No, would like red sources. Ugh. Okay, well, that's pretty not helpful. I wonder if I should have marched the Graveyard Glutton? Probably not. It having one more power really isn't the end of the world. I am probably actually still supposed to march it though, huh? The mana harshness here, quite severe. I do feel like we play a reasonable number of red sources, but maybe this Jwari Ruins just isn't something that this deck can afford to play.
I'm the best fire starter there is. Oh, this is...
I don't care about the ward cost. I mean, the ward cost is the same regardless of whether it's day or night, right? Oh, so close to an untapped red source. We were nearly there. Untapped red source means we can play Teferi uptick and still Lightning Helix. Alright, so next turn I can play Raugrin Triome, uptick Teferi, and then Lightning Helix, and the Yorion is a pretty reasonable blocker here up until it dies. Man, when you discarded not to Jwari it? The cost to not Jwariing it was that I kind of needed to play Jwari as a land. I was real low on lands. It also meant I couldn't Omen of the Sea. And if Omen of the Sea hit a red source, and I got to play Fable of the Mirrorbreaker on turn 3, that was just way better than disruptioning it. But yeah, did not luck out. So down to 2, Helix up to... yeah, alright. Maybe this works. If the opponent's hand isn't too good.
We need to move quickly.
We are cutting it close, though. Oh, no. So there actually is a sequencing here that they can do. If they just uptick Chandra... I didn't think about this. So I was thinking that I was going to Lightning Helix their land. But the trouble is that if they just do 2 damage with Chandra and then attack with Bonecrusher Giant, I die unless I respond with Lightning Helix now. And I was relying on Lightning Helixing the land and not taking the 2 from Bonecrusher. Does this still work? No, I'm dead. Wow. The sequencing doing the additional damage there actually enough to kill me. Even with hitting the land, you die at 7? But I had more life than that, didn't I? No, because if I hit the land, I only take 6. And I'm at 7. I take 2 off the Chandra and 4 off the Bonecrusher. Because the land dies. But it's 8 if I have to hit the Bonecrusher. Real close, but not quite. So I'm definitely assuming that I want the Aether Gusts. I don't know if I want Portable Hole, Settle the Wreckage, or March of Otherworldly Light. I'm assuming I probably want Settle the Wreckage in this matchup. Equally, I'm assuming that I'm probably not supposed to want Narset. Is Shark Typhoon actually good? Is Teferi actually good? Teferi might actually be worse than Shark Typhoon. It seems like a matchup where cycling Shark Typhoon for 3 is good. Narset is good against Spyro. What card is Spyro supposed to be? Well, this hand isn't good enough. Oh, this is better. Okay. I don't think Portable Hole is likely to be a card I want to play. Seasoned Pyromancer? Yeah, I guess it's fine. But I guess maybe Narset's okay on the play, and less so on the draw. I don't assume that there's any 2-drops they have that I want to Lightning Helix badly enough to take 2 damage. Yeah, okay. Thoughtseize means I lose. I don't think I get to win after mulliganing against Double Hand Hate. Well, no, that's not true. I can just top deck some Expressive Iterations. Did I not bring in the other Expressive Iteration? I think I didn't. Alright, that's a pretty big mistake. This also would be a spot where Narset would be good. I guess I was assuming that they were heavier on the 3-drops, but it would make sense that they would board heavier into Hand Hate. Yeah, I made the classic mistake of boarding to beat game 1 rather than boarding to beat game 2. Okay, Archmage's Charm drawing 2 would be stellar. But it's so tempting to take the Goblin Shaman. I think I'm just supposed to let them have the treasure. I think I just have to try to win this on card advantage. Which is, like, impossible, but I think it's the only angle I have to win on card advantage because I can't win on any other angle. Alright, that's horrifying. Thoughtseize probably should take Yorion? Yeah. Settler Wreckage is not very good if your opponent knows about it, typically. Will I draw at sorcery speed? Yeah, because of tap lands. And because I have Portable Hole to draw into. Or, no, did I cut the Portable Holes? Either way, which land I play can affect whether I can kill the Goblin Shaman before it gets to make a treasure or not. Alright, this is pretty interesting. This hand is actually somewhat decent. Known Settle the Wreckage makes Wandering Emperor a lot stronger. Okay, yeah, more Hand Hate isn't fun. You take Wandering Emperor here. I guess I could play Wandering Emperor in response to the Thoughtseize and just not activate it. Maybe that's correct in some world. If they swing with both, I think I just settle here and take it. If they swing with one, I just Lightning Helix the Crusher. At least this settle is still doing some amount of work. We have not had socks yet today, no. Alright. Alright. The pain doesn't stop.
You wanna go, tough guy? Oh, today's my lucky day.
Unfortunately, I still have to give them known information. I've got too many card draw spells in my deck to not play my lands out.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Alright, well, that's the game. How do I mean, Expressive Iteration into stuff? I guess? Hope that they animate Den of the Bugbear and swing into Settle the Wreckage?
Yup, you're going down.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, definitely feel like I made a lot of mistakes this game. Not playing around the correct axes of interaction at all. So let's see. I believe I'm supposed to steal the Goblin Shaman here. This stops them from escaping the Kroxa, because they can't make another treasure. Unless they play a land. In which case I'm just in horrible amounts of pain and trouble. We have a Chandra ultimate we have to be concerned about, which means they should just not attack with the City Stalker Connoisseur to protect the Chandra. Yeah, we draw a land. That's the game. Yeah. Not good. Not good. Two not particularly great draws, but also mostly that was bad mulliganing. Bad sideboarding. Harsh. Alright, well, this is not a good hand, so we will keep. Ooh, this is a good hand if we find white mana for our portable hole. Maybe. Portable hole the Spirit Dancer? Would be good. Nope. Okay. Why did I play Stormcarved Coast? I thought I played Spirebluff Canal. Did I just touch the wrong land? That's going to be a problem. Especially if I draw a white source. Shouldn't overthink a game against four-hand disruption spells. You should overthink every game. Every game you've ever lost was your fault. And thinking anything different just denies yourself the opportunity to improve. It might not be your fault, but you should assume it is. Alright, well, let's draw a white source. Okay. This is the part where the Spirebluff Canal entering tapped instead of being a Stormcarved Coast is going to punish me for my misclick on the first turn. Yeah. Not really going to be capable of beating this one. Although the part where they misplayed and didn't play the Sentinel's Eyes on the Sentinel and gave me an out to play Wandering Emperor, that bit was cool, but yeah. Having Saiba Syphoner be 2 mana because I haven't drawn a spell this game is disappointing. Yeah, I really hate that this Spirebluff Canal is going to come in tapped next turn. I'm really making my own life tougher here. But I don't really get a choice besides just passing with Soaring City, bouncing Sentinel up. Oh, okay. They didn't misplay. I just forgot that I didn't actually kill a thing earlier, so they didn't have the ability to escape it. Turns out that's not free. I could just play Saiba Syphoner and eat the Selfless Savior, I suppose. That lets them post-combat the Sentinel's Eyes, which is kind of a problem. Most things I do are kind of a problem here. I'm not seeing a way through this one. Maybe I'm supposed to hold the Saiba Syphoner so that I can top deck a Flame Blessed Bolt and clear out 2 of their things. No, because I'd still need to kill the Selfless Savior either way. Yeah, this bit sucks. This bit still sucks. Whoa. They play 2 Cartouche of Solidarities? Okay, well... Alright. I'm going to need to start drawing better. The good news is, we're successfully getting all of the bad draws out of the way, which bodes well for the weekend. I think we decided no on the Shark Typhoons. Probably trim Wandering Emperor. Archmage's Charm isn't great. I could trim it. Huh. I don't know. Am I supposed to cut 2 Archmage's Charms or just totally cut the Wandering Emperors? Let's try completely cutting the Wandering Emperors and see what happens. Maybe they just have too much vigilance. Have I considered getting a little luckier? That's why we're bottling up the luck now and not having any of it. So that on the weekend, we can equal it out by running super hot. Alright, we'll keep it and draw a white source. It'll be fine. We probably have to go and cut this Jwar Disruption for another dual land. Oh, this Sulfur Falls isn't even going to enter untapped, is it? I needed to play the Sulfur Falls last turn. Okay, that's like a game-losing mistake that's entirely on me and not on the mana base. I should have Archmage's Charmed the Esper Sentinel at sorcery speed there, while they were tapped out. Well, I guess the good news is it wouldn't really have mattered. Oh, it would matter, because I would actually be Archmage's Charming at sorcery speed here, which might hit an untapped white source to Core Spirit Dancer. Well, this game is still winnable. Gonna take a white source. Alright, well, we're gonna have to try not to die. It's going to be slightly difficult. Can I even afford to Archmage's Charm that? I don't think I can. Okay, there's a chance. Okay, they didn't have anything else there. Should I kill Spirit Dancer now? I'm assuming I should probably try? I'm simultaneously trying to play around Spell Pierce and play around making my Saiba Syphoners cost 2 after I Lightning Helix by getting rid of that Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, so there's a Spell Pierce, which I can pay for. They Spell Pierce me again, which doesn't leave me anything. That's fine, because they're low on mana. They play 1 Sentinel's Eyes on probably the Spirit Dancer. Draw 2. I can clear their board. Chump block the Spirit Dancer. Well, I can't clear the Selfless Savior, unfortunately. Oh, I can, actually, if they attack with it. If they don't attack with it, I guess I just don't block? It's kind of risky leaving me dead to an Aether Tunnel on Selfless Savior. If I don't block, but the Esper Sentinel tax is so valuable. Drawing a Lightning Helix kind of sucks because it makes Saiba Syphoner cost more. Okay, Archmage's Charm is actually, like, pretty reasonable. Another target creature you control. Okay, so I actually have a reason to do it in this order. We Portable Hold the Spirit Dancer, and then we Portable Hold the SRAM. Opponent controls no creatures, so they can't stop me from stealing this Selfless Savior. Alright, we're at 1. Let the beatdown commence. Okay, that's a Light Pause. That's a Luris. No attacks. Staggering Insight resolves. Or does it? I'm actually going to have to respond to the Light Pause trigger anyway, because it's going to go above Lightning Helix, so it doesn't actually resolve. Yeah, there's a veto. Here's another removal spell. So upkeep, I can Saiba Syphoner, get my Archmage's Charm to have a counterspell for the Lurrus. Alright. Horrible misplays aside, we can still win those games. Am I planning to do a set review for Streets of New Capenna? Yeah. I'd actually solicit suggestions on what format people think would be the most interesting way to do a set review, especially if I am to end up putting them up on YouTube. I need to figure out some way to do like a highlight of interesting cards as a separate thing from like an entire 8-hour set review. I think that'll just probably be a better way to do it as a video. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the kitty and use the restroom. Be right back. I have failed to find a kitty. This is pretty bad. I feel like I shouldn't keep this because it doesn't actually have cheap interaction, which is the important thing, but it has lands and like I think I've been scarred at this point. Okay, immediately drawing all of the 5-drops is like the last possible thing I want to do. Gross. Any chances of me playing the Giant Mimic deck? You definitely after this week. And I think that deck is still like kind of on the short list for my choice of best standard deck. Alright, well March of Otherworldly Light was a good draw. I have to exile a card here to play around Spell Pierce. Which it looks like they had. Alright, well, that makes us slightly stable-ish. I mean, not actually stable-ish, but like significantly better than we were half a second ago. Brutal. Kind of need to hit a 1-mana removal spell for Spirit Dancer. That's the ball game. Why did I let Auto Tapper do that? I knew I needed to have white mana available. I mean, it would be playing into Spell Pierce anyway, so yeah. Alright. We have huge, significant, very glaring problems here. I mean, I could still top deck Portable Hole, I suppose. On the other hand, I'm probably dead. I think I'm dead. I'm dead. So, like, that's not good. Well, unfortunately, the hand that had good mana did not get there because we did not draw any interaction. I mean, we drew one piece of interaction on time, but that was about it. Karametra's Blessing tends to not be, like, super common. It's a little common, but I haven't seen it as much in most versions that are running Light Paws. It just tends to be slightly less flexible than Spell Pierce, and so tends to get edged out for the very narrow amount of spots you have that are capable of being something that isn't a creature or an aura. But it is still something that some people play. Not something you get to play around very often, though. Let's see what we can get done with a new and improved mana base. Is green-black still good? Is green-black food still good? If you can build it to beat blue-white auras while still beating Phoenix, then probably yes. But I don't know how to do that. Alright, I'm willing to keep this. It's 3 tap lands, but that's never stopped me before. Huh. 4 tap lands. Awkward. Esper Sentinel really embarrasses Omen of the Sea. Okay, so we're not currently playing against auras. We are actually playing against... that was awkward. Blue-white affinity. Nettle Cyst hurts, but... I do have an Archmage's Charm. And a Wandering Emperor, which helps mitigate some of those problems. So let's go ahead and nab this Esper Sentinel. I assume I'm okay taking this little amount of damage for the time being. I feel like there's a very strong likelihood that I'm going to get Metallic Rebuked, but maybe that's okay. Wow. No? What is my opponent's hand that they're also not interested in... cracking the Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card? Huh. Curious. Removing the token and leaving them with a Nettle Cyst isn't like the most exciting thing in the world. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that earlier. Not really interested in letting them have a Karn. They must just be flooding out really badly. I think I'm actually better off playing Fable of the Mirrorbreaker and putting Yorion in hand than playing the Teferi here. The mana acceleration and getting to bounce Omen of the Sea and Wandering Emperor just feels amazing next turn. No, not Portable Hole on my 2/2. Oh, they must have just been sitting on removal this whole time, I suppose. Yeah, let's go ahead and discard lands. We can draw lands. Sweet. Yeah, I still think that actually getting the mana acceleration token is a better deal here. Harsh but fair. Alright. Well, we're flipping Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, which means if we ever find a Saiba Trespasser, we're good. But no, Saiba Syphoner. We're not playing any Trespassers. Alright, so that was mostly just the opponent drawing badly. Okay, so Portable Hole is good against them. Shark Typhoon is okay against them. Expressive Iteration's probably fine. Flame Blast Bolt is probably bad. March is actually probably decent. What are we supposed to cut against this matchup? Are all Siphoners vampires? No. Because I think this is siphoning electricity, which might just be magic. Glint Sleeve Syphoner is specifically a Siphoner because Aether is, at some point in the lore, implied to be like the lifeblood of the planet / environment. But, like, do you argue that electricity is like the lifeblood of the commie world? I don't think you can make that argument. Are all Siphoners Siphoners? That is a interesting question I am not equipped to answer. Huh. I have no clue what I'm supposed to cut here. What do we think, chat? Tell me what to do. Cut 4 Lightning Helixes? Chat, you're a genius. I'm gonna have a tough time explaining why I did that because I don't really know. Okay, here's the plan. The plan is the opponent is going to mulligan to an Esper Sentinel, and we're going to use our 2-mana Saiba Syphoner to block the Esper Sentinel and not have them draw a card because we did it with a creature. No! Opponent, that's cheating. How incredibly rude. Can this sacrifice to draw cards? Yeah, it can. And that can just draw cards naturally. Alright, well, so I've basically lost. I don't really have any tools with which to fight this. Playing around Shark Typhoon, I suppose? Okay, well, I can't win. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. It's at 3, huh? So I can't even attack it down with my Syphoner? Kind of just have to let the opponent draw a million cards here because I can't win otherwise. We find ourselves in a bad spot. So now I end up having to march a Thopter just so that they're forced to attack a Sentinel into the Teferi. And that doesn't really solve the problem where my opponent just has infinity cards anyway. Yeah, so we get to kill a Sentinel. Oh, goodness gracious. How am I supposed to handle this? Probably should have done this in their upkeep. Alright, I guess that's a start. You can have a Karn opponent, because I don't want you having a counterspell on account of me not being able to beat that. So I'm dead to anything that removes Syphoner. Ornithopter does not remove Syphoner, thankfully. So we will be blocking and taking more damage than I would like. Oh, and then losing that Expressive Iteration. Cool. Which means I should have sacked the Omen of the Sea after blocks. That sucks. So 5, 6, 7, dead? Dead. So I guess we have to find Settle the Wreckage. This means they have another counterspell? That's gross. Alright, well, I am mostly dead. Didn't have Settled Wreckages. Interesting. Is this a matchup where I'm supposed to play Dovin's Veto? It doesn't feel like it is. My ability to answer Sai is, like, kind of incredibly limited. Yeesh. Had to pay 4? Pay 4 for what? Okay, this is doable-ish. For the spell? For... Oh, pay for the spell before we conceded? I suppose I could have. Settle the Wreckage has seemed like the hypothetical card that would be the most valuable against what What's even the name of that thing? Oh, Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, you were just the best draw here. Mono white, which seemed like the deck that was the most inherently poor matchup of everything we played against so far. I don't even think I do want to discard anything here. If they happen to double block Sai plus this Thopter, I get to kill the Thopter for free by waiting to cast this March of Otherworldly Light on the Sai, which makes me happy that I thought to wait and do that in this order. Alright, well, this is proceeding in an okay pace. Interesting question whether it's better to hold up Archmage's Charm or put Yorion in hand here. I'm going to assume the answer is hold up Archmage's Charm, but I get the feeling that's probably wrong. Veto does stop them from using Bankbuster, which is nice. Guess they can attack with Bankbuster if they want to try to race, which they probably can succeed at. Or we could draw the best card in the deck, because this deck is great. Alright, let's do this while they are tapped out. Get an Archmage's Charm. Shock in our land. That was not necessary. Well, it's necessary if I don't want to use the treasure, and I don't want to have to use the treasure. Alright, life should be very, 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 very difficult for our opponent now. I would like to attempt to counter the Nettle Cyst. Okay. So I should get to deal with both attackers this turn, because I shocked in that land, which turned out to be correct. So I should just win here now. Alright, so we're going to make a copy of Saiba Syphoners. We're going to get back March of Otherworldly Light. We're going to block that Bankbuster. We're going to march this Germ. Throw out an Expressive Iteration. Cool. Portable Hold a Hand. Untap land into play. Portable Hold the Germ so that it can't crew Bankbuster. Make a copy of Syphoner. Get back that Archmage's Charm. Attack with everybody, make some treasures. Wow, that was a really good turn to top deck Saiba Syphoner. I'm so glad we didn't put Yorion in hand. Okay, that resolves. So I guess now they end up crewing... Okay, so they've made a mistake here. I actually don't think I was supposed to let that resolve. The reason is they should have crewed the Bankbuster and then put both Nettle Cysts on the Bankbuster, and I think they actually killed me. I think I just threw this game. Well, I guess they could have top-decked a counterspell. No. Even if they had a counterspell, because this isn't actually lethal. Yeah, wow. Okay, they actually had lethal because I did an Archmage's Charm in response to the first Nettle Cyst. I am so lucky they missed that. Alright, well... Now it just shouldn't matter what they draw, right? Oh, no, because they can draw two. So I guess I actually should have waited on Archmage's Charm. Yeah, I forgot about this part. Yeah, okay. Wow. Alright, I'm very happy that punting that back-to-back 2 turns in a row didn't lose me that match. I kind of deserved to it, but I'll take it. Okie dokie, what do we got? A hand where we desperately hope the opponent is on an aggressive deck. Twould seem. How easy. Thanks for the resub. I appreciate the support. Green-red. Okay. Well, I assume that means that I'm not going to cycle this Triome at any point, so we should play it turn 1. Okay, this deck. Got it. Let us not allow our opponent... Oh, and by this deck, I mean Shamans / Wizards Tribal, where they attempt to copy all of their creatures' ETBs. But I should be decently positioned against that, since I just have a pile of removal. Sorcery Speed Coco. Well, pseudo-sorcery speed. Bellows Breath. That's a new one. Whenever it attacks, it deals damage equal to its intensity to any target, then perpetually increase its intensity by 1. Oh, okay, so that also triggers when it attacks. Neat. Anyway, I'm just gonna fry a bunch of stuff with lightning. It does mean Coco successfully 2 for 1 to me, though. Yeah, there's the second Coco. Jeez. Alright. No mercy from opponent. Elvish Visionary, the Casual Divination. Burning Tree Emissary makes a bunch of mana, but that's not card draw, so I have to let that happen. Mostly, I think I just lose here. That's card draw, so I have to counter that and hope they don't have anything else, which is unlikely. Okay, fire up Den of the Bugbear. It's not good for me, but it's a hope. Well, this is awkward. I can't put Archmage's Charm in hand or else I can't play this Syphoner. So, I guess if they don't top deck anything, I at least get to Saiba Syphoner, trade with Den of the Bugbear? Okay. This is like pseudo-stabilizing if my opponent's hand is bad. Alright, Fable's really interesting, but I don't think that I can afford to let them have the Harmonic Prodigy still. I get to kill the Narset. Okay. I like Syphoner. I like Syphoner a lot. Unfortunately, playing Fable of the Mirrorbreaker doesn't leave me a counterspell up, but I think that I'm just supposed to play my cards. Okay, Rage Forger's kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. Burning Tree Emissary pings us for 1. But then I get to Syphoner, get the Lightning Helix, kill Rage Forger, double block Emissary. I'm getting so much life. How many Lightning Helixes have I cast this game, I wonder? They should kill the Syphoner because the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is going to flip eventually. Even though it hurts to leave me with the ability to make more treasures. Oh. Well, that kind of sucks. Huh. Yeah. Alright, well, I guess I gotta kill the Burning Tree Emissary and leave him the Rage Forger then. Because protecting the Saiba Syphoner and killing the 3/3 is probably worth more than killing the Rage Forger when they're kind of top decking. Okay. I'll take an Omen of the Sea. That ought to be useful eventually. In the meantime, let's Zappy the Rage Forger, put Yorion in hand, which is going to bounce the Saiba Syphoner, which is probably excellent. Alright, Harmonic Prodigy is scary. Oh wow, they held the Elvish Visionaries, huh? Alright, kudos opponent. Well done. I guess I should have played Narset. I didn't assume that they were holding on to any kind of cantrips. They must have been holding on to the Prodigy. They wouldn't hold on to Visionary hoping to top deck Prodigy. But I could see holding on to Prodigy until you top decked something that was relevant. Ooh, wow. Faceless Agent with Harmonic Prodigy is gross. Okay, so I'm actually going to need to put Narset in play now, huh? I don't want my opponent top decking more stuff. I kind of think I actually just don't even want to downtick the Narset. I don't need more spells currently with the Saiba Syphoner giving me, like, total information anyway. Yeah, Rage Forger was the card that I couldn't handle them having. Alright, well, let's kill the Harmonic Prodigy. They only have 2 Shamans they get to attack with this turn. Aaron SW, thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. Wow, opponent. Only top decking perfect, huh? Jeez. Can I even come back from this? Wow. I'm not entirely sure I can come back from this. So I get to get another Lightning Helix, and I get to get a Flame Blessed Bolt. Flame Blessed Bolt can kill Rage Forger. Lightning Helix can kill the Prodigy. And then I'm on chump blocking duty, and I don't know how I survive. The Open is this weekend, yes. What am I even looking for? Not that. So if I Expressive Iteration, I have 5 mana left. Portable Hold, a Visionary, 4 mana left. Rage Forger is untapped, so I can't find... Wandering Emperor. Huh. I mean, I assume I have to do that. I don't know what outs I have. I believe I have 0. March? Nope, because I can't exile Archmage's Charm for match. I'm 1 mana short of exiling the Rage Forger and stealing something, which I still don't actually think gets there. Wow. I can't believe I lost that game. I think that might be the most favored to win I've ever been in a game that I've lost. Without, like, punting a spot where I was 100% to win. Huh. Alright, well, Settle the Wreckage, Aether Gust, Portable Holes. Shark Typhoon's probably too slow. Expressive Iteration probably comes in. March is probably too slow. Hero and Emperor can probably get trimmed. And Shaman's a real historic deck? Kind of. It's definitely not bad, but it's very all in. Not a great hand, but I'm not really allowed to throw away interaction card advantage. Elvish Visionary is a card they are allowed to play. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with just both of these. Narset, I will downtick Narset later. I do not need to downtick it now. 3 damage is exactly how much Rage Forger on this Elvish Visionary would do to Narset, so I don't want to put Narset to 3. If Narset only takes 1, then I can just downtick Narset next turn. But no. Opponent has a Rage Forger. Unfortunately, I think I do have to tap out here and just let my opponent have Collected Company. Okay, cool. Rune Blaster's horrible for me. I'm going to have a difficult time beating that. Not an impossible time, but a difficult one. Okay, so I don't really get to beat if my opponent just draws more Collected Companies now. Okay, well, that was a total whiff from them. That's certainly nice to see. I'm assuming I have to hold up Lightning Helix for the Prodigy. It's really tempting to put Yorion in hand and just hope my opponent doesn't have anything, but I don't think I can assume that they don't have anything. I'm giving them an opening to win if they have Collected Company, but they kind of win if they have Collected Company anyway. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not correct to wait there. Maybe I'm just supposed to sorcery speed that anyway. Jeez. No, I can't really win. Down to 11. Guess I'm sort of not technically dead. Or I'm technically dead on board. Wow. Yeah. The answer to is Shaman's a good deck? It is a very good deck if you draw like that. Jeez. Oh yeah, we are definitely getting all the bad luck out of the way today. Alright, well, castable 2-drop, Archmage's Charm. Oh, castable 2-drop does require me to shock, which kind of bites. Never mind. Perfect. Okay. Green-white enchantments should be a matchup where we're extremely favored. Especially with this hand. Or we're playing against shrines, and I guess I have no clue what happens. What do you even do? You may pay 1, deals X damage to... Okay, so I get pinged in the face, I guess. I'm mostly just going to counter things and not read them. Here, I take a damage. Playing an untapped land so that I can play Saiba Syphoner if my opponent doesn't play something that I need to counter. Honed in Life's Web. That does feel like something I'm probably going to need to counter. Alright, so we're going to Saiba Syphoner on our upkeep. Oh, we're done. Okay. Well, let's board in some Dovin's Vetoes and some Aether Gusts, I guess. And, like, probably cut Flame Blessed Bolts and play more Marches, I guess. And then, like, probably cut Wandering Emperors, I guess. And then probably cut Portable Holes, I guess. And then play an Expressive Iteration number 2, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, alright. Aether Gust is pretty good. Archmage's Charm is pretty good. Does this deck need more main deck cards for the Shrines matchup? We could play more Aether Gust's main deck. That probably is better for the Shrines matchup, I have to assume. That might be a change that's worth making. Sithis. Oh, no. That seems like a card that's way too good for the opponent to have. They must have top-decked that? I don't know why they would play the Sanctum otherwise. Do I let them untap with Sithis so that I can play a Fable? Probably not supposed to do that. Ooh. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. Alright, well. What if you're just not allowed to draw cards, though, opponent? Yeah, I'll just take this card advantage. Narset worked too, but then they got to punch the Narset, which, like, I don't know. That sounds sad for me. Okay. Yeah, why not? Wow, this is like the worst hand I've ever kept. Yikes. This is a bad start. Okay, deck. I don't know about this one. I can't even put this Yorion in my hand. Oh, alright. Had to be a tap land, but... okay. Alright. There's a chance. There's a chance. There's like actually possibly a good chance. Am I willing to take this damage? No. I know that I'm opening up the opportunity for my opponent to play a second Thalia, and that sucks, but I'm a coward. Sweet! Alright, let's get rid of that Goblin Shaman. I could have put Yorion into hand and Portable Hole to kill it, but I want to keep Portable Hole in hand so that I can play Teferi Portable Hole next turn. I guess the upside of doing it the other way around was that Portable Hole would be in play and empty for me to blink with Yorion the following turn, but like, yeah, I don't know. This sucks. So they take the Portable Hole. Oh, that's not correct, opponent. Alright, well I think because they make that mistake, I'm allowed to win. They were supposed to take Portable Hole so I couldn't play two things in one turn. So now I have a Teferi anyway, and I clear the board. Yeah, that's fair. I should have played those in the other order to play around Mana Tithe. Very true. Thalia. Okay. Alright, opponent. Them's his real Magic cards. Saiba Syphoner's a stellar draw. What am I supposed to get here? I guess probably just Lightning Helix. So I can kill Kiki Jiki here. Gain some life, back up to 20. Opponent can choose which Planeswalker to kill. They should probably be killing the Teferi. I guess killing the Teferi leaves me with a chump blocker in play, which is kind of annoying. This way I get to choose... I'm probably still supposed to choose to keep the Teferi. The extra mana is just valuable here. Yeah, okay. More Vanguards. Fair. Those are annoying to kill. Less annoying if I have Emperor, though. Alright, let's be mana efficient and try to make our land drop. Saiba Syphoner is great. So, this is worth shocking. Since now I can Wandering Emperor and Saiba Syphoner. Ew, gross. Alright, let's take the Lightning Helix so that we can kill the Thalia. And then play Wandering Emperor. Then the Spellbinder resolves. Will we be able to end this game above 20 life? And for what it's worth, I consider ending this game at above 20 life to be valid if the opponent leaves us with enough life plus enough Lightning Helixes to have gotten above 20 life. So like them conceding here, not good enough. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and exile an Odonto and chump block the other Odonto. Oh. I thought they went at both Planeswalkers with both Odontos. Shoot. That's awkward. I wanted to exile the Odonto that was going for a Planeswalker. Alright, so we have Teferi. What do we have going on there? Oh, Wandering Emperor. It seems like a fun card. So 5 plus 5, so I do have to do one of these now. Inconvenient. Yes, all things considered, I'm probably best going after the Spellbinder. I think the Thalia is just less important than the Wandering Emperor, or than the Flyer at this point. I do have to try to end the game above 20 life, after all, and Thalia does less damage. Sweet. I would say that we ended that game at 25 life, which feels pretty good against an aggro deck. Alright, let's see. Settle the Wreckage, Portable Hole, March, Expressive Iterations, cut. Shark Typhoons, cut a Teferi. Cut Narsets, probably. Yeah, okay. I guess this feels like a plan. So this hand is extremely horrible, especially on the draw. So I think we're obligated to mulligan it. This hand is better-ish. Still kind of sucks, but hypothetically could draw into something useful. Alright. Where are we going from here? I can march for 0 if I want to. I think I'm supposed to value card advantage here, so I don't march the Thalia in response. I've already mulliganed once, which is kind of harsh. Alright, so I have a Helix. Where am I supposed to throw a Helix? Probably at the Spellbinder? I think I'm actually just supposed to ignore the Thalia and try to gain life. Maybe that's incorrect? Well, turns out taxing their Mirror Breaker is cool. Alright, now I think I'm supposed to exile the Thalia and then Lightning Helix the next thing. They were willing to discard one Thalia? Does that mean they have another Thalia? It probably means they have another Thalia. And yet... Okay. I can Fable the Mirror Breaker to block the Esper Sentinel. Baneslayer Angel is the card that you bring in against control was not what I was expecting to have happen. That doesn't seem like what that sideboard plan is probably supposed to do. But here we are. I guess it has Vigilance. I can't afford to take extra damage. I think I'm probably supposed to put Yorion in hand here. Alright, that's a lot of stuff our opponent has over there. Ooh, can I afford to shock down to 7 in order to get 2 Omen of the Seas? Probably not. I'm gonna do it anyway. I shouldn't have shocked before Omen of the Seeing. I might draw like a Settle the Wreckage or something here that I want to play instead of Yorion. Well, I could also hit Teferi, which is considerably better than Yorion. Not punished for mistakes at all. Unless the opponent has protection. In which case I'm still not actively punished yet. Okay. I feel like I've just been beaten by 2 cards that absolutely should not be in against me. But, okay, here we are. Let's see. I don't think any changes. Okay, this seems like a pretty good hand. I'm a little disappointed that we drew a card that stops us from playing Saiba Syphoner after we Lightning Helix, but oh well. Don't really want an Archmage's Charm right now. Ooh, the lack of second white source for that Wandering Emperor is disappointing. You got another one, opponent? I got a March if you do. No, it's a Spellbinder. How sad. I assume that takes Wandering Emperor, which is probably actually a mistake, come to think of it. I didn't have the second white source for it this turn anyway. Alright, so Spellbinder gets to attack. Thalia, sure. Alright, so Spellbinder hits me down to 20. End of turn, we get rid of Thalia. Upkeep, we play Syphoner, get back Lightning Helix. Play our tapped second white source, pass the turn. Alright. It's a game plan. And the game plan is mostly just Lightning Helixes for days. And the best news is that I've got answers to like 3 Baneslayer Angels. Alright, opponent, I got a Wandering Emperor. What do you want to do? If the opponent wanted to play Guardian to protect my Spellbinder on their turn, I think that was actually a turn that I was okay with them having. Is why I wasn't really worried about casting it in instant speed. Play this in response. Any tips for someone that might be interested in getting back into MTG, used to enjoy going to SCG Open/GPs? What kind of advice? I don't know. What kind of advice would you be looking for in that case? I mean, the most straightforward... Okay, yeah, that doesn't seem like a stellar Guardian of Faith for you, but okay. Pretty much everybody right now is kind of out of paper Magic, if that's what you mean. Or unless you mean Magic in general, in which case... maybe then... it's a little less clear, but... yeah, pretty much all paper play has been sort of on hold for the last 2 years, and is only sort of starting to come back this, like... August/September. Okay, let's see here. I assume I'm just supposed to cycle this Irrigated Farmland. Alright, so opponent, how do you handle me having a 2/2 and some 3/3s? Fable of the Mirror Breaker with Guardian of Faith is actually a really cool combo, isn't it? Lyra. Wow, they just really boarded into the Angels' plan against me. Curious. MTGA, packs to buy, etc. Bored of WoW, need a new hobby, enjoy watching you, so it's tempted you. Okay. Do you have an idea of what kind of Magic you are interested in playing? Do you have a preference on format, or do you just like want to play competitively and have a format recommended as a result of that? All right, I'm torn between whether I want to get rid of the Lyra or the Reflection. I think the answer is that I'm supposed to get rid of the Lyra, but I don't know if I can actually... No, I think I need to get rid of the Reflection. I have a Wandering Emperor that can answer this Lyra. Leaving them Guardian of Faith Kiki-Jiki sounds like a way that I end up losing this game. I should probably just cycle this. I'm going to go check something real quick, because there is something making a weird noise. Okay, where were we? Passing to attackers. Lyra getting to kill Teferi and then die to Wandering Emperor. Doing this now in case I hit a... 1 mana shock. Oh, I can't play 1 mana shock because of Thalia. Okay, incorrect timing. Just very much not the correct timing. So now we try to hit Lyra. If they have a Guardian of Faith, I have a second Wandering Emperor that I can play. Cool. Then I can just play... No, Teferi's 1 mana too much. So if I can Portable Hole Thalia, then just hold up Archmage's Charm, I think is the most correct option available to me. Wandering Emperor. Alright, not really interested in that. Okay. I believe we should be capable of winning the game at 25 life here. Let's go ahead and uptick Teferi, hold up Wandering Emperor. If the opponent doesn't do anything, we get to make 2 Wandering Emperor tokens and then play Yorion, which should be pretty busted. Alright, Wandering Emperor. Down tick Wandering Emperor. Go to our turn. Omen of the Sea. Draw some cards. Okay. No, come back, opponent. Oh, I was going to get to play the Saiba Syphoner and then play the Yorion and then uptick Teferi. How many cards was I going to have in hand at the end of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was going to draw 6 cards off this Yorion? Oh, opponent. Opponent. No! I was so excited to play against Mistman. Well, that's disappointing. Giganta, so we are playing against Niv Mizzet, which means this hand is awful, but we'll just draw Aether Gust. No, that's not on my deck. What's the name of the card that isn't Aether Gust but costs 3 mana? Archmage's Charm, that one. We'll draw Archmage's Charm. Couldn't this have been a 3/3? Did it have to be a 4/4? I'm going to be really disappointed if I... Okay, cool. They can't Thoughtseize me because they don't have a black source. So my Wandering Emperor to answer this Territorial Kavu will succeed. Ooh. All right. Archmage's Charm is like the best possible draw. Love to see it. Love to see no Dovin's Veto. Hey Grace, whenever I play Historic, I find it really difficult to be the kind of deck you're using. How can that deck be beaten? I'm playing with Golgari Food. Okay, so Golgari Food has a slightly tough time against blue-white control that have a lot of answers for Trail of Crumbs. But generally speaking... Oh no, my Archmage's Charm. Cool, they didn't take my Archmage's Charm. I don't understand that, but... Radical. There's actually a really strong argument that I should have down-ticked Wandering Emperor there. But I guess if I need to Archmage's Charm this turn, I can't play the other Wandering Emperor. Okay. Kavu's fine. I would try to look into videos of other top-level players playing Golgari Food, because playing decks against control decks is often very weird in terms of how you have to warp your understanding of what resources matter. Oh. But Golgari Food in particular is a deck that has to start, like, hyper-valuing card advantage, because the way that you beat control decks is by out-card advantaging them. And Trail of Crumbs is pretty good at doing that. I feel like this might be a little obviously broadcasting that I have Lightning Helix. Pretty sure you can't out-trail decks main decking farewell. Well, it can be tricky, but it's not undoable. Okay. I don't think it's worth getting rid of my Archmage's Charm to protect a Wandering Emperor at 1 loyalty. We would like to top deck an untap land so I can play this Narset. I'm assuming the opponent's just willing to sacrifice this Territorial Kavu in the pursuit of looting. Alright, Kavu down, Gigantha in play, untap land, not acquired, failure. Horrific, horrific failure. Alright, turn pass. This is where things get real bad. Drawing dead cards when I'm stuck on 5 lands and can't not hold up Archmage's Charm is very risky when the opponent has infinity mana. Alright, well, tap land isn't great, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, opponent not having 2 Niv Mizzets in hand with the Gigantha last turn was good. This turn, apparently they top decked the second Niv Mizzet, or a counterspell. Yeah, alright. Well, top decking worse than my opponent is not what I was looking for. Alright. 1 missed land drop can lose you a game. Highly disappointing. But understandable. Oh wait, no. I was supposed to play like all the March of Otherworldly Lights, right? That's what it was? I think it was something like this, and that we couldn't afford to play the Portable Holes. Even though they were so mana efficient, because they were just bad against Niv. Too many ways to kill them. Lose to Niv a lot, even though I see people blash it. Niv is a deck that's very, very, very hard to play, but it is not a deck that is bad. Did we miss a few land drops? Yeah, but if I had hit a land drop, like, 1 or 2 turns earlier than I did, I think I would have won that game. Which is to say, it only takes 1 land drop missed. Can you post the deck list, please? Yeah, that command should pop it up, although it looks like it might have been used recently enough that it decided not to use it? Huh. That's weird. Why is that not working? Let me see if I can pop it up. I'll take the play. Untapped. This hand's awful. It's not. It's got Archmage's Charm. That's all it needs to be good. Where is this deck? Oh no, I've tanked the win rate by being terribly unlucky today. Harsh. Boop. That should be the right one, I think. Alright, let's just get the Narset developed. No! Whiffing on Narset is not the kind of card advantage I was really looking for here. Okay. Aether Gust, however, is the kind of card advantage that I'm actively looking for. It's a good thing I don't need to hold up Aether Gust this turn, or else that Expressive Iteration would have been a harsh whiff. Oh, alright, the 1-up Prismari command is going to kill me. Maybe they don't have Niv. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's my bad for not playing around that. Okay, I can beat that. Maybe. Second Niv will be weird. Not actually unbeatable because I have enough cards, but weird. Okay. Well, now we're back to, like, pseudo-parity that's not super favorable for me, but not horrible. Oh. There we go. Should be a little better now. I wonder how long I've accidentally had the game audio muted. I think I'm probably not supposed to run out Narset here. Ibona just Dovin's vetoes it, and I'm not like super into that. Alright, Expressive Iteration is fine. I don't really want to waste any counter magic on it this turn when I can just Shark Typhoon to develop a threat instead. Maelstrom Pulse is just totally a whiff. We'd love to see that. Did I sideboard in the 4th Shark Typhoon like I was supposed to? I don't know. Alright, I don't think I need 7 mana this turn, so I will keep an untapped land for later. Yeah, Thoughtseize is rough, but this is why we have 3 counterspells, so that Thoughtseize is not as annoying. Opponent takes Archmage's Charm. Very well. I do like my opponent losing life. Alright, Giganta is not a card that I am concerned by. Should I care about Dovin's veto? It does give me a little bit of insurance against Teferi, which is probably worthwhile while I have 2 answers to Niv. I should probably play Narset. It sort of baits out the Dovin's veto, which would actually be a good thing for me.
Mind and body should move, and I have just the trick.
Ooh, okay, more counterspells. Love to see it. We got a 3-turn clock with a shark. We have tools to defend the shark. Honestly, the better equilibrium, as far as audio goes, would be if I wore headphones. Do I have to Aether Gust the Giganta so that they don't have 5 extra mana next turn? I think I might need to. That kind of sucks. If they trade the Dovin's veto for the Aether Gust, I just live with it. Yeah, okay. Alright, I think this game is going to get decided fast enough and not by Yorion value to the extent that I'm probably supposed to crack this Omen of the Sea. I think I do want that untapped land, and the Shark Typhoon's actually very good here. Oh, that wasn't an Omen of the Sea. That was a Scry 2. Right. Okay, so putting the land on top instead of the Shark Typhoon to hit off the Narset was like the literal worst possible choice that I could have made. Okay.
Hone your prowess.
Alright, so I should have had 1 more mana this turn and no Teferi in hand, but hopefully that doesn't end up mattering. If they veto the Gust, you get to dispute the Giganta. I wouldn't actually dispute the Giganta at that point, is the most amusing part of that. Alright, I should win here now. Even if they successfully resolve this Niv, I think they still lose because I have the Teferi. As long as I get to cycle Shark Typhoon for 1. I guess they could answer this 4/4. Like a Lightning Helix here keeps them alive. Although they can't cast Lightning Helix, right? That's cute. Okay. So actually... Have they played a land yet this turn? Yes. Okay. Decline. I will not pay Niv Mizzet resolves. I think I'm actually supposed to go for lethal and not let them get an untap. If they have a 1-mana way to kill this shark, I'm probably losing this game because of that decision, but I am taking the assumption that they do not have the way to do that. Alright. That's a scary choice to make, but I'm pretty sure it's correct to do it that way. Changes? No. Okay. You know what? We have turn 2 Omen of the Sea, turn 3 Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. We don't have any counter spells or interaction or the ability to do anything. Anyway. Do we have all 4 sharks in? I forgot to check. Let's take a look at the deck. Yes, we apparently do. It's kind of silly that Territorial Kavu gets to loot in addition to just being a 5/5 threat, when you think about it. Alright, untap land in the top 4 cards of our deck. I know we can do it. Perfect. Do I want Steam Vents? 2, probably. Yeah, this wasn't a tap land that had land types, was it? Alright, that one's on me. We make mistakes and we learn from them. Which further complicates matters, because now I can't actually tap out for anything, lest they resolve a Niv. I can't actually interact with a Niv either, though, so, like, this would be a good turn to a Wandering Emperor to Territorial Kavu, but that's not really happening. Alright. So, the extra infinity life I'm losing here is going to be a problem from that. How many decks am I putting in List Yorion? You know, I don't know. I'm actually not sure whether it's good or not yet. 3 mana is a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how much of Aether Gust's power level is due to costing 2 mana and being extremely castable, as opposed to like how strong the actual effect is. Divide by 0 was good? Yeah, but Divide by 0 was card advantage. I guess this still sort of is. Perfect.
To phase you out of time?
Alright, does this on Territorial Kavu's removal spell resolve? Or does it get Dovin's Veto? It resolves. In that case, I'm gonna get Lightning Helix and die here, huh? I think I just have to take that risk, though. I hate that my opponent has priority here because that means Lightning Helix. Maybe not. Alright.
No time for a break.
The extra 6 or 7 damage that I took this game from one land misplay is harsh. They should take March, because it's my answer to Clothis. And then I have to commit 2 mana to Saiba Syphoner to get it back. It could be Drown. I kind of feel like they probably would have used Drown to counter the Fable if that was the case. I'm assuming that goes after the 2/2. Yeah. Alright, so do you have Veto, opponent? Or Drown? Yeah, I can't beat Drown either way. They should not drown this Saiba Syphoner if they have a Drown. They should drown the March. Oh, but they can't drown the March because there's not enough cards in my grave? Oh. Oh. I have to be very careful not to put too many cards in my graveyard right now.
Don't make another move.
Okay, this is winnable-ish if my opponent doesn't have stuff. The Vanishing Verse to not let me have my Kiki-Jiki nonsense is sad. Okay. So there's a chance. Okay. They have a Lightning Helix in the yard, which means Scarab God untapping and getting... Oh, it's exiled! Oh, it doesn't go to the graveyard when it dies! They don't have anything to get back. They can't Scarab God back their Lightning Helix with my creature. Oh. Okay. 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 Six, 7, 14, 18. If they don't interact with the board or have any cards that do anything, I have exactly... For real? Maelstrom Pulse to kill both reflections. Okay. Jeez. Alright, how are we handling this when the opponent's eventually going to top deck Lightning Helix to win? Could have killed Teferi. We could not have. I guess, well, okay, so we could have made a copy of Goblin Shaman, thrown away our Goblin Shaman, and then killed Teferi by upticking Wandering Emperor on the token, but I don't think that's actually, like, good for us. Emperor only gives 2 life if we have a target, which we currently can't do, because there's no tapped creatures, meaning Lightning Helix is still lethal. Oh, gross.
I hope you're ready to lose.
How do I make a tapped creature so that I can cast things? I don't think that I can. This game feels hard. Once again, I wish I had 7 more life. I feel like I absolutely could have won this had I not made that mistake. Oh, okay, cool. They didn't go for lethal. Also, they could have just down-ticked Teferi for lethal. So, like, I guess I'm happy they missed both of those lethals. But, unfortunately, no answers. Ah, that's painful. That's entirely on me. Entirely my fault to have lost that one. Rest in peace. Well, I feel like I'm not allowed to mulligan Fable of the Mirrorbreaker plus Teferi and 3 lands. So, we keep. I don't think playing Saiba Syphoner on 2 is the decisions that I am supposed to be making. Alright. Crossroads on red in Historic. What does Crossroads in Historic mean? No! My Fable! Please take Teferi, 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 please take Teferi? Please take Teferi. Siphoner's fine too. Just don't take Mirrorbreaker. It's the only good card in my hand. You could take Shark Typhoon, actually. No! How come I have to get paired against opponents who make correct decisions? No! Look at this utter nonsense. Opponent playing good cards after denying me my cards. I don't know if this is correct, but like it used all my mana efficiently, so feels correct. Wandering Emperor feels like a good draw. Look at this. I spent a card to remove Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, and it's still fantastic. How come it's allowed to be so good? Seasoned Pyromancer? Sure. Opponent is free to discard a bunch of cards, if they so desire. I will just make a bunch of 2/2s, because that is what I desire.
We must protect the people. May your blade strike true.
You want to trade with me? Was that really what you wanted to do when you knew I had the March opponent? I mean, okay. Fine by me. Now we play the Triome, put Yorion in hand, set up to flicker Syphoner and Wandering Emperor. That seems like a good line to me. I mean, they do have a reflection of Kikijiki in play, so like, I might still be losing this game regardless. Because that's a disgusting value engine that's super powerful. How long do you figure before people start to realize that Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is probably modern playable? Because, like, people try to play Liliana of the Veil in Modern, and that's gotta be worse than Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, right? By, like, a lot?
We've got the edge in this fight.
Oh, really? Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I should probably Teferi and get rid of the reflection before playing Yorion.
I won't hide from the world any longer. Let's take it back.
Leaving them with an active, hasty Kikijiki just sounds like something awful. So that down ticks on the 3/3 forces the trade with my 2/2. It's mean.
Yep, you're flammable.
Like, I'm pretty sure I'm still supposed to make that trade, but it's mean.
No time for a break.
We must protect the people.
I think I've successfully outvalued red-black.
How long do you
Maybe.
train?
We'll see.
For this,
You show
I've learned
remorse.
much during my travels. Let your slave do the talking.
Woo! Planeswalkers! Successfully ways to beat Thoughtseize. That was a weird game. I'm still sad that I didn't get to play Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, though. Okay, so Expressive Iteration is yes. And then, what else do we do? Aether Gust is yes. Flameless Bolt is probably yes. I feel like I'm just supposed to keep every single thing that can possibly be a 2-for-1. Right? Which actually makes this kind of hard, because what card in my deck is not a 2-for-1? I guess Portable Hole is like probably the weakest card. I don't actually like the idea of decreasing the number of 2-drops that I have. Lightning Helix? Lightning Helix sort of isn't 2-for-1. That's true. Alright. I should probably play a March over Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon's sort of a 2-for-1, but I do still need to keep some attempt to stay at parity on curve. Okay. Yeah, alright. It's like, hypothetically, cards that do things, so I think that means I keep it. No! I don't even know which of these cards that's supposed to take. Opponent agrees that it's Archmage's Charm. Okay, look at this. Opponent's gonna think I'm shocking to hold up Lightning Helix, not even gonna realize I'm actually shocking to hold up Omen of the Sea. They'll never see it coming. Is it legal to mulligan versus red-black? I don't think it's legal to mulligan versus anything, to be entirely honest. Can I just ignore this Trespasser entirely? No? Harsh. I think I'm actually supposed to get rid of the Syphoner, probably. Maybe not. It's probably better to have the Syphoner than the Omen. Alright, opponent, you know I have a charm. What you gonna do about it? Kinda like getting rid of Teferi? Maybe? I guess I could see that. I think I value drawing 2 and using my mana efficiently tempo-wise over holding Archmage's Charm. But I also like drawing Archmage's Charm as like the best of both worlds. No! Alright, well, I guess I just draw 2 then. How? Wow, that's awful. I don't know whether they get rid of Teferi or Syphoner here. They think they get rid of Teferi. Is the plan then to play a Chandra? Oh, Gross. Okay, that's a rude opponent. We're playing Go Blank and Historic. Mean. Okay. Well, despite my opponent's best efforts, we are successfully continuing card advantage. Card advantage will not cease. Yeah, that's a Chandra. Opponent has card advantage too.
Hey, over here! Oh, today's my lucky day.
Alright, Chandra whiffs. Good news. Omen of the Sea. Opponent begins to cry. Lands shuffled to the bottom. Lands drawn anyway. Yeah, okay. Mean. Shuffled to the bottom indeed. Okay. Now we're looking at magic cards. I should have put those in the other order so that I wasn't vulnerable to a Inquisition off the top.
This'll be
Poorly
easy.
done. Don't love Fable of the Mirror Breaker, mostly because it's good for the opponent, and thus bad for me.
Nobody tells me what to do.
I should have played Narset before attacking. I don't think there's anything that punishes me for it, but
Thoughtfulness before action.
I should have done it regardless. Do I want a Shock Wandering Emperor? Protects Narset against Hive? Yeah, probably. I think I'm just supposed to play more Wandering Emperors, which is a bit of a bummer to pass up on Fable, but I suspect this is just slightly better.
Today's my
Luckily, I have a bunch of life. That makes this a lot less awkward. I just get to sit here and continue trying to outvalue the opponent. Okay. Well, you know about the Wandering Emperor, opponent. So am I to assume that you have an answer to this 2-2?
May your blades
Maybe not? Okay. More Fables. Understood. Downtick Narset, what we got?
meditate.
Archmage's Charm with Saiba Syphoner is stellar. Yep, okay. Whee! Good work, deck. That's exactly how we drew that up. We just played a bunch of 2-for-1s, and then the Rakdos deck didn't get to do anything. It's nice when a plan comes together.